Well, hello everyone and happy Thursday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I take you guys through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Wherever you're watching today, as always, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or the 48 Now live stream, as always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. Now, I think it is about time we start things off. Now, starting things off in Florence, the man killed in an officer-involved shooting last night was identified earlier today. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office says the man was identified as 33-year-old Jackson Paul Jones. Authorities say the shooting happened in the Florence Police Department's parking lot around 5:30 last night when the suspect called the police department saying he was going to, quote, shoot the place up. After officers responded, they say they were met with shots being fired from the suspect. No officers were injured in last night's shooting, and there is no current threat to the community. Authorities say one officer is now on leave as standard protocol for the officer-involved shootings. And 48's Aria Pons will have more details coming up in our evening newscast. And now in Huntsville, one person was taken to the hospital following a shooting at a hotel this morning. Huntsville police officers at the scene told 48 News one person was shot inside a room at the Best Western Hotel on University Drive. The incident happened around 4 a.m. Police say when officers arrived at the scene, they found an adult male suffering from a gunshot wound. Following an investigation, police determined the victim and suspect were involved in an alleged argument. And during the altercation, police say the suspect then pulled a firearm and shot at the victim. The victim was transported to the hospital and remains in critical condition. Authorities say the suspect fled the scene before officers arrived. The suspect has not been arrested at this time, and police say they are looking through security footage at the hotel to determine what exactly happened. This remains an ongoing investigation, and we will update you all as soon as we learn more. But now, let's turn it over to 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Mr. Brad Travis, for a look at the latest forecast. How's it looking out there today, Brad?
Perhaps some drizzle and then temperatures falling. Sunday, boy, we've got a chance for some snow flurries out there, maybe even some snow showers. And then as we get into Monday, it's all about the cold air coming back with the feels like temperature in the single digits to start it out. Today's been a beautiful day. 57 right now in Huntsville, 58 in Decatur. So I think we got a good shot at 60 tomorrow. Over the next 12 hours, a slow cool down. We will have to watch out for some patchy fog overnight tonight. Could be freezing fog. Over the next 3 days, 60 tomorrow, 54 Saturday, but the temperature will fall throughout the day. And 33 for the high Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, we could be in the 20s. I'll have more on your forecast for some wintry weather coming up at 4, 5, and 6.
Well, thank you, Brad. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, the Singing River Trail here in Huntsville announced their new executive director earlier today. The Huntsville area nonprofit announced Misty Potter will take over the new role, replacing interim executive director Anna Clem. Clem took over the temporary role in June of 2024 following the arrest of the nonprofit's former executive director, John Kavach. Kavach was arrested and charged with 5 counts of possession of child pornography and 1 count of dissemination of child pornography. Potter, an Athens State University alumni, brings over 27 years of experience to the Singing River Trail. She says her goal is to provide oversight and leadership for expanding the over 200-mile greenway throughout North Alabama. But now, a story in case you missed it. There have now been 15 traffic accidents at one Huntsville intersection in the past 6 weeks. 48's Callie Neese with the details on why this is happening. Take a listen.
Digital no left turn signs were posted December 1st for all north and southbound drivers along Memorial Parkway. But since then, 15 accidents have happened at this intersection, one taking the life of Marissa Montecalvo. Captain Tony McEllier says police are now drafting an entirely new safety plan for this area. But in the meantime, he's asking drivers to keep a close eye on the signs here.
Pay attention to your signs. Pay attention to what we're directing you to do. Go down to one intersection, whether you're northbound or southbound. Keep going down to turn and take an alternative route.
Herbert Love drives through here often, and he hopes drivers are taking safety seriously during this phase of the construction.
Well, you got to be careful. You better be looking all the time and see who's behind you and who's in front of you, because people's crazy in this town.
Captain Tony McEllier said that police have had to write almost 200 citations for drivers making illegal left turns at this intersection. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And earlier today, 48's Callie Neese also spoke with a friend and former roommate of the victim killed at the intersection. Her name was Marissa Montecalvo, and she was killed Monday morning at the intersection. Callie today spoke with Sarah Hawkins, and take a listen to a little of what she had to say.
That I was proud of her. That I was really proud of her. And that I was grateful for her being a part of my life and for help shape my future.
Well, thank you, Callie. Well, popular social media app TikTok is currently set to be banned here in the U.S. this Sunday. And today, 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy spoke with Jessica Simon, an Alabama business owner, who says her company relies on TikTok for marketing. Simon said her business, Mississippi Candle Company, has sold over 30,000 items in the TikTok shop alone. She said the upcoming ban will cost her thousands of dollars since she can't promote her products nearly as effectively. And take a listen to what she had to say.
People slow down their purchases, and then yesterday I noticed a mass amount of refund requests, and a lot of them haven't even received their orders yet. So I really think that people are afraid, like, if they don't like the item, that they won't get a refund.
Nice. Well, now coming up after the break, we'll talk about the details of a recent arrest made in Colbert County from a 2020 cold case. Of course, remembering Mr. Baseball, and closing it off with an awesome and innovative story you're just not going to want to miss. It's all ahead. I'll see you all in 1 minute. Well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, an arrest has finally been made regarding a cold case from the year 2020, which involved the disappearance of a woman. 48's Aria Pons has all the details. Take a look.
We're very happy that we've been able to bring some closure. We'll be very happy when we get a conviction on this, and we're confident that we will.
After more than 4 years, we have some answers in a Colbert County cold case. This all started with a missing persons report for Courtney Staggs in August of 2020. Then, 3 months later, human remains were found off Jarman Lane. It wasn't until May of 2024 that federal officials confirmed those remains were Staggs. And this week, Orlando Whiteside has been arrested and charged with abuse of corpse in this case.
The charge is we have evidence that Miss Staggs passed away in their presence. And instead of contacting proper authorities, medical, they discarded the body.
Whiteside is not charged with causing Stagg's death, and Sheriff Eric Ballantyne won't comment on how she died, but he did say the two knew each other.
I do know that they had a social media relationship. We do know that they made contact through different types of social media.
Ballantyne says they will be tying at least one other person to this case in the next few months. Stagg's family says they're relieved that they were able to bury her, but are still feeling the grief of that loss.
Chief Evans has spoken with them. What he's relayed to me is a sense of relief. They're very pleased. And to be quite honest with you, I felt like once they had confirmation that this was their loved one, they were at peace. But we just didn't want to let it go. We wanted to hold someone accountable.
Sheriff Ballantyne says that this is one cold case in a long line of many that he was looking to clear when he entered office. Now, Whiteside is out on bond currently, but he should be back in court sometime in March. Reporting in Colbert County, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
Well, thank you, Aria. Now in sports, that Scottsboro Wildcats girls basketball team is hungry for the postseason, that is for sure. And this comes after a disappointing end to last season. 48's Cam Durr gives us a look at the mindset of the Scottsboro Wildcats.
4 points from program history. That's how close the Scottsboro girls basketball team came to bringing home a state title a season ago.
When you look up and you only lose by 4, you think about all the missed layups or free throws that you missed at the beginning of the game. And it just it really hurt to know that you were only 4 points away.
And that hunger still lingers this season. And those 4 points act as a constant reminder for the Wildcats as they near the postseason.
We tell them 4 points all the time. That's how much we lost by last year in the finals is 4 points. So that's what we strive to try to improve, those 4 points. And we know there's a target on us now. We're getting everybody's best shot every game, and so we have to bring it from start to finish every game.
That's because the Wildcats have sat at the top of the state's Class 5A rankings since the start. They've navigated arguably the hardest schedule in girls basketball, all in preparation to reach the ultimate goal.
It's a good and a bad thing. Everybody wants us, everyone wants to beat us, but I think that's just motivation for us. Bring the blue home instead of the red this time.
With 5 games left to go in the regular season, Scottsboro has yet to be defeated in area play, locking in home court advantage come playoffs.
Great place to play. Hambrick Hall here is an unbelievable place to play. We've had really good crowds and a lot of support for girls basketball for sure.
The area tournament set for early February is the first task at hand for the Wildcats and their quest for history.
We're ready. It's just 4 points, and we're going to get that back this season. And I've been ready since the last game of last season.
Awesome stuff there. And let me know in the comments, will the Scottsboro girls do it this year? Is this their year? I want to know. I think it is. I think this is the year for Scottsboro, that is for sure. But now a really sad story today in the world of baseball. Bob Ueckler, known as Mr. Baseball, for his comedic talents in his legendary broadcasting career, has died today at age 90. He was also an actor and a commercial spokesman. Here's NBC's Sam Brock on the lasting legacy of Mr. Baseball.
This is a true story.
Bob Uecker spent most of his adult life hanging around ballparks. He was a major leaguer, a journeyman catcher for 4 teams over 6 seasons, compiling a less than stellar career batting average of 200. It was after his last team released him that Uecker found his power swing as an entertainer.
Would you welcome Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker.
He made some 100 appearances on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, starred in a 1980 sitcom, Mr. Belvedere, and had an unforgettable role in the hit movie Major League.
Just a bit outside. I love him.
Beer commercials made him a household name.
Great. Good seats, huh? You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
It's the line that made this Milwaukee native famous.
He missed the tag!
The Milwaukee Brewers immortalizing him with a statue behind the last row. With a deadpan delivery, Uecker turned his baseball career's highlights into punchlines, like homering off of pitching great Sandy Koufax.
I was always afraid it was going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. I really was.
And joking about getting his World Series ring as the backup catcher with the champion 1964 St. Louis Cardinals.
Threw mine in the left field. I found it in about the 5th inning.
Uecker is in the Baseball Hall of Fame, not as a player, but as a broadcaster. Serving as the longtime Brewers play-by-play man, he was celebrated with Bob Uecker Day in Wisconsin in 2021 to mark his 50 years calling Brewers games.
I love people. Who are we without people? You know, who are we without fans?
An all-time all-star at putting smiles on people's faces. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Well, thank you, Sam, and he certainly will be greatly missed. And we have another sports story to bring to you all. This is local. Calhoun Community College will now be adding women's soccer and women's flag football. Now, this is all we have at this time, but we will have this story on our sports app and on our website momentarily, so tune in for that. That is for sure. Some exciting news for Calhoun Community College. But now, in a bit of state news, an Alabama mother down in Jefferson County says a judge threatened to call the State Department of Human Resources after she brought her 3-month-old baby with her when she reported for jury duty. She says she's unable to be away from her daughter for more than a few hours because the baby is exclusively breastfed. Lisa Crane has her story.
Dad, that's a little pocket girl.
3-month-old Parker is Candace Brown's youngest child. She's breastfed like her 4 older siblings were, so mom and baby can't be apart for long.
I cannot leave her. She's exclusively breastfed. She cannot eat without me. She would literally go hungry and squall. Like, I've tried a bottle, she will not take one.
She thought that would be an acceptable reason to be excused from jury duty, but it wasn't that easy. She had to wait for several hours on Monday with Parker in a jury room. Judges Elizabeth French, Marshall Jackson Hatcher, and Shanta Owens addressed the group. She said what Judge Owens said shocked her.
She said, I hear that there are children here. I can't see them, but I hear that children are here. The mothers that have children here, you need to make accommodations for your children to be picked up. We would hate for DHR to be involved.
Brown was eventually excused, but just for the day and left in fear of what could still happen.
I was horrified. I'm like, if I get called back and I'm still breastfeeding and I bring her, could they really call DHR on me and try to take my baby screaming from me in my arms? Like, there's no way that this can really happen.
Brown's social media post garnered hundreds of comments, with many moms saying the same thing had happened to them. She says it made her realize something needs to change.
I will serve on jury duty. When I'm not breastfeeding, I absolutely will go and serve. I'm not trying to get out of that. I just need accommodations while I'm still breastfeeding my baby.
Well, thank you so much. And well, last week's Festival of the Cranes in Decatur was postponed due to the winter weather last week and will now go on this Saturday. Last week, I spoke with park ranger at Wheeler Wildlife Refuge. Her name was Daphne Mullen. And take a listen to a little of what to expect at Decatur's festival this weekend. Daphne, thank you so much for joining in today. Talk about this really cool and unique event. How long has it been going on, and just how many cranes can we find there this weekend?
So the Festival of the Cranes has been going on for over a decade at this point. And on any given day around our visitor center here at the refuge, you can see 5,000 to 10,000 sandhill cranes, 1 to 6 whooping cranes, ducks, geese of all sorts and sizes. So a visit to the refuge during this winter season is amazing.
Absolutely, and it sounds awesome, and that is certainly a lot of cranes. Now, I know it's going to be extremely cold this weekend. Are you all still planning the festival to go on as normal? And if so, are there any measures you're taking due to the extreme weather? Yeah, you don't need to know the end of that. It should be a pretty nice weekend, that is for sure. But if you want to watch that full 48 Now interview, you can head over to our website, WAFF.com, and get all the details there. But sounds like it's an incredible event, that is for sure. I might have to check it out myself. But, well, some people build swing sets for their grandkids, but one man in Pennsylvania has taken that a step further. He's refurbished an old roller coaster on his property, but having the coaster violates local zoning laws. Amelia Sack has the story. Take a look at this.
some people collect or buy antique cars and fix them up. This is very similar. It's just a lot more fun.
Michael Chorba has a yard full of refurbished amusement park rides for his grandkids to enjoy.
They really enjoy this. I do this for them. You can't put a price on memories.
His most recent addition, a mini roller coaster. Chorba and his family have been making updates to the machine since 2023.
Completely tore it apart, degreased it, painted, reupholstered all new seats and new stainless steel hardware.
Lap bars are on the way to finalize the renovations. However, it's been a bumpy ride keeping the coaster in action. Chorba owns the land where the ride sits, but it's zoned as agricultural, putting it in violation of Mount Pleasant Township zoning laws. Chorba says it's been an unexpected uphill process of getting the permits for the coaster. After Chorba received the violation, he attended a hearing where the decision received a split vote from the board, keeping the coaster in violation.
We filed appeal, in a timely manner, and we're just waiting for the next process of that appeal.
Chorba says that the appeal was filed in the summer. We reached out to the Mount Pleasant Township zoning officer, who tells 2822 News the appeal went to Columbia County Court. It was then sent back to the township. Now, the township is waiting on a court order from the county to hold a second hearing. This leaves the fate of Chorba's coaster in limbo.
Ultimately, if it fails, they would fine me, and at that point I would have to, disassemble and try to find a new buyer for the coaster.
Chorba hopes he can keep the coaster on its tracks for his family to enjoy for years to come.
Well, hopefully he gets to keep it, but if not, I'll buy it. No, I'm just kidding. I really have no place to put a roller coaster, but I saw that thing. I was like, that is sweet. I definitely have to show all you at home this awesome roller coaster. But yes, one of these days, maybe one of these days. But awesome stuff there. But now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. Speaking with a health expert on red 3 dye in our foods and beverages. Get those details coming up. Another story you're just not going to want to miss. The latest on a former Tuscumbia police officer who was convicted for a fatal DUI, wanting to serve his sentence in the Coleman County Detention Center. Get the latest from that story. And finally, the uptick in flu cases we're seeing here in Alabama. 48's Matthew King will have everything you need to know. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And I think it's just about that time. It is time for Facebook fun. That is right. And today's 48 Facebook question of the day: what celebrity would you want to play you in a biopic? Let's see what you all had to say. I am not going to comment on mine because honestly, I'm not really sure who I would want to play me. Honestly, I feel sorry for whoever does. That is for sure. I'm just kidding. But let's see what you all had to say. Let's see, Mike Billups, he said Clint Eastwood. Very solid pick right there. Mike, thank you so much for commenting. Jeffrey said Leonardo DiCaprio. Another really awesome choice there. Cannot go wrong with that. That is for sure. Selena said Melissa McCarthy. Nothing wrong with that. That is a really awesome one. Thank you so much for commenting. Really good comment so far. Dolly said Selena Gomez. I need to be thin and beautiful for once in my life. Dolly, I'm sure you are perfectly fine just the way you are, and you should not change a thing. But Selena Gomez is an awesome choice. Thank you so much for commenting. And then Tommy Walker said Seth Rogen, and just judging by that profile picture, if that's you, Tommy, I think that would be a pretty good fit. That is for sure. Tommy, thank you so much for commenting. And everyone who commented on today's 48 Facebook question of the day, thank you so much for commenting. It always makes my day to see what you all have to say. But with all of that said, I think that's just about it for today's Before the Four. I want to thank you all for sticking around and spending a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. And don't forget to download the 48 digital app, the 48 First Alert weather app, and the 48 Sports Zone app. Turn on those push notifications and you will never miss a breaking news story. But thank you all for watching, and you all have a great night.